Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is Shok. I know for the past, 5-6 days I've been MIA, but I have a valid excuse this time, well, I mean, I always have one, but this one's really valid. This is my birthday weekend. My birthday was on the 30th of last month, and big shout out to everybody on Facebook and Twitter who wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate the love, guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate the support, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for wishing me a happy birthday. What did I do for my birthday? Nothing really. I never do anything really fancy for my birthdays. After my 15th birthday, I really stopped caring about celebrations and going places and stuff like that. But I did spend my birthday weekend with my girlfriend. We played games together. We ate food together. We had a good time. So I had a good time with my girl, and that's pretty much all I did, and that's pretty much all I need. My parents, they haven't done anything for my birthday, and my family hasn't done anything, but that's common. Because my family's always so busy. We celebrate birthdays a week to 2 weeks after the birthday actually happens. So I should be getting a cake, this weekend or next weekend. That's just how my family operates. But yeah, I had a good time. I tried to give myself a birthday present and buy Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, digital on PC, but they actually stopped selling digital copies of that game because their servers are overrun or flooded or something like that. So if any of you out there have a digital copy of A Realm Reborn on PC, I will gladly buy that off of you, so PM me. Thank you. But to the top matter at hand, this probably isn't going to be a long, deep video or anything like that, but it's just something that's kind of been on my mind. It's something that kind of keeps getting brought up. And that's realistic games, right? And how I don't care for them as much as I care for highly unrealistic games. Plain and simple, I play games to escape reality. I don't play games to simulate reality. You see what I'm saying? And before I get even further into this, I'm not saying what's wrong with you if you play realistic games. What's wrong with you if you play simulators? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it's simply not my cup of tea. Because I'll be talking to somebody like, what? You don't like Gran Turismo? Oh, what? You don't like, Fight Night? You didn't play Fight Night Round 4, something like that? I could watch a fight like Fight Night on television. You see what I'm saying? I could go and, watch a race. I know that there's a difference between racing and watching a race, but in those racing sims, a lot of watching is involved. You see what I'm saying? Because you're just holding down the throttle and you're just steering. There's not much direct gameplay involved, and I can still go drive a car. I can still go race if I want to. So I'm saying, oh, what, you don't play Madden, you don't play 2K? I could go play football. I live in a black community, not a ghetto black community, a nice black community, but I live in a black community. I could literally walk right down my street and pick up a football game or a basketball game. You see what I'm saying? I could go do that in real life, or I could go watch a basketball game or a football game, whether it be in the real or on television. So when I play video games, when I turn on my systems, I do it to escape reality. It's a hobby, but it's also to get away from the real life bullshit. And again, I'm not trying to shit on people's preferences here or anything like that. This is just how I feel about it. Why would I want to enter the realm of fantasy and video games only to play something that is actually in real life? You see what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how I feel about it. What's the point of simulating real life that sucks? Like I come home from work, right? Why would I want to pop in a game where I'm waiting tables in this realistic setting? 1080p graphics, and the gameplay involves, taking the order down and putting it in and then getting the food and taking it to my customers. You see what I'm saying? Why would I want to do that? You see what I'm saying? If I come home from a hard day of work, or I'm having a bad day, I want to shoot up aliens. You see what I'm saying? I want to do some platforming. I want to, play some kind of fighter. I want to rip people's arms off with fatalities. You see what I'm saying? I want to do things like that. I think those kinds of games are the games that define video games. I do recognize, don't get me wrong, I do recognize, Madden and 2K and all these realistic, racing sims and things of that nature. I recognize those as video games, but I feel that unrealistic video games define video games more because when video games first came out, it was pretty much all about, you know, the fantasy, what's not real, and how we can finally experience what's not real, how we could do things we can't do in real life. See what I'm saying? I want to play some Mirror's Edge. I ain't finna go hopping on rooftops, you know, rooftop to rooftops, run away from cops and copters. Hell no. But a video game offers me that. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I will enjoy that particular kind of video game. No, I can't freaking run around with a baseball bat and take down hordes of zombies single-handedly like I can in Left 4 Dead 2. That's why I love that game. You see what I'm saying? That's why I love those kinds of games, because those games aren't reality. And I'm not including, you know, I'm not including games like The Last of Us. I still count games like The Last of Us as fantasy. You know, I'm not saying I have something against real world settings, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about, you know, simulation, you know, kind of games that are meant to simulate real life, you know, activities. But stuff like Last of Us, I love stuff like that as well. You could be set in a real setting, you know, you have realistic looking characters, you know, convincing sounding, you know, make them very human-like. That's cool, because Last of Us still offers, you know, a fantasy setting, because it's about this apocalypse where this fungus spore has spread over to humans, and now the humans are, you know, infecting things of that nature. So it still brings that fantasy aspect. You see what I'm saying? Post-apocalyptic, you know, and it's fantasy. It's still fantasy set in the real world. So this is great. I'm still counting this, but I'm just saying, like, the ultra super hyper racing sim 4 kind of games, and the sports games, you know, that kind of stuff. That's real life stuff. You know, those are things I could do. You know, even in Fight Night, you know, I could go to a sparring ring right now, you know, and spar with somebody, you know. So I could even, you know, could do that to a certain extent. Now, of course, I ain't gonna get to no serious boxing match or anything like that, but, you know, you guys see what I'm saying. So, I just don't understand how people are so surprised when I say I'm not into these kinds of games, because, I mean, I would think the answer as to why people wouldn't be into these kinds of games is obvious. You know, why would you want to simulate reality when this is just the way I see it. Video games were made to get away from reality, so why would I turn on my video game console when I want to simulate it? Plain and simple. And that also kind of falls in line, you know, as to why Nintendo makes, you know, my favorite kinds of games, because they're the biggest deviations from reality you could possibly get. Okay, Zelda, Mario, you know, like, you know, Donkey Kong, Smash Bros, like, what the fuck is that? You know, Metroid, what the fuck? This chick is like balling up into this little ball. How the fuck does she do that? You know, fighting space pirate things that she has this arm cannon. How the fuck does that work? You know, that's why Nintendo, that's why, you know, I roll with Nintendo and they make my favorite kinds of games, because to me, Nintendo makes what, they make the pure definition of what video games are. You see what I'm saying? Games that don't take themselves seriously, games that are simply meant for the fantasy aspect, games that are solely meant for fun. You see what I'm saying? And that's not to say that Sony doesn't have those games, Microsoft doesn't have those games. You guys know I'm a huge Halo fan. I don't know if you see my Halo posters over there, but yeah, you know, I love Halo too, you know. I love games that are video games. I don't like games that are simulations of a very boring, terrible reality where we have wars and drugs and violence. Like, why would I want to simulate this life? This life sucks. I get in the video game, I want to escape. I want to survive an apocalypse, right? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. But I drugged this video long enough. That's pretty much all I want to say. Let me know what you guys think down below regarding this topic. But that's for this video. I'll see you fools later. Peace.